Hello, I'm Tahi from Relearn to Share. And before I start, I'll briefly introduce topics I'll cover for this series of videos. Basically, I'm going to talk about social studies. As you can see with the PPT, the three main areas that I'll focus on will be civics, government, and economy. Also, I planned to share fundamental things of philosophy, including 100 schools of thought, Socrates and Plato, Aristotle, and Bentham. I'd highly recommend my videos for the students who want to recall the most basic concepts of social studies in a short time period. Watching my videos, you can learn or review about voting and election, the administrative machineries of states, supply, demand, and economic structures, and so on. Now, in this video, I'm covering human rights. What is human rights? You already might have heard of it a lot, but maybe you can't think of a clear definition of it. Human rights are the basic rights and freedoms that belong to every person in the world from birth until death. Skimming through the preamble of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the picture on the left will help you to understand the concept of human rights. Main point of the declaration is in the last part of the preamble proclaims this Universal Declaration of Human Rights as a common standard of achievement for all peoples and all nations, to the end that every individual and every organ of society, keeping this declaration constantly in mind, shall strive by teaching and education to promote respect for these rights and freedoms, and by progressive measures, national and international, to secure their universal and effective recognition and observance, and both among the peoples of member states themselves and among the peoples of territories under their jurisdiction. We can find out that human rights are universal by reading it. As human rights are inherent regardless of one's age, ethnic origin, location, language, religion, ethnicity, or any other status. They are applicable for everywhere, every time, and every human. It is the most prioritized virtue that all nations must protect with the constitutions, laws, and so on. Therefore, even for the constitutions, the prime law, if it is violating human rights, any citizen can file an amendment of the constitution. Also, human rights are fundamental rights. Since they are the most basic and essential rights that humans have, all the other rights, including the right to be educated or the right to pursue one's happiness, are derived from human rights. Next, they are inalienable. Since human rights must be universal and egalitarian for all people and nations, no one is allowed to violate or deprive them of others. Last but not least, human rights are inherently entitled simply because he or she is a human being. In other words, human rights are inherent in all human beings, therefore, they are assumed to be egalitarian. To sum up, human rights are rights inherent to all people, all human beings, regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language, religion, or other status. There are mainly four natures of human rights: universality, fundamentals, and egalitarian and inalienability. Now, let's move on to the next part, form of human rights. Pretending to be the most fundamental and broad rights of man, human rights have numerous variations. However, as we are covering the most basic part of social studies, today I'll explain about four main types of human rights suggested by the United Nations. First type is going to be the right to life and liberty. Starting with the right to life, it means that no one, including the government, is allowed to end your life. Using fancy words, preventing the arbitrary deprivation of life is the purpose of the right to life. Additionally, It involves the hidden meaning that the government should take appropriate measures to safeguard life by making laws to protect you from risks. In this case, risks can be the use of force by public authorities, wrong use of medical treatments that leads to the death of patients or others. The right to liberty means that people must not be arrested and detained unless provided for by law. Their arrest and detention must not be forced. Also, the right to liberty applies to every case in which people are deprived of their liberty, not just for criminal investigation. Another type of human right is freedom from slavery and torture. Freedom from slavery is very clear in its meaning. No one has the right to make us a slave, and we cannot make anyone our slave. It's about banning the exploitation of labors that are uh, forced by some sort of power. Definition of the freedom from torture or cruel is also quite straightforward. It means that no one shall be subjected to torture or to cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. In particular, no one can be subjected without from torture or cruel is being the base for no one can be subjected without his or her free consent to medical or scientific experimentation. Therefore, freedom from torture or cruel is being the base for the experimental ethics. Third type of human rights would be freedom of opinion and expression. It is formally called freedom of expression and literally means that all humans can freely express their opinions or feelings on anything. The last form of human rights and the right to work, the last form of human rights, the right to work and education. The right to work means everyone can work for their interest and choose their jobs at will. The right to education is defined that every individual, irrespective or of race, gender, nationality, ethnic, or social origin, religion, or political preference, age, or disability, is entitled to a free elementary education. In fact, the maximum level of institution offering free education differs by country, so be aware of it. All forms of human rights, including them, are written in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So if you want extra resources on human rights, I recommend you to read the declaration. So this is the end of the lesson I prepared for, and I hope that my PPT and all the resources is helpful. And since I covered about the human rights in this video, so leave a comment about human rights if you have any questions would be great too. And please like and subscribe.